Yo, what is up, everybody? It's Frontz here, and WrestleMania 33 just happened last night, and I just wanted to share my thoughts on it because I'm a big wrestling fan. I have been since I was little when Goldberg beat Hogan for the title, and this was a really good pay-per-view, I think, compared to last year's WrestleMania or the year before that. Pretty much the last two WrestleManias have been hit or miss, but this was not too bad. I mean, well, let's just get into the matches. Austin Aries versus Adrian Neville or A. Neville on the pre-show match one went 15 minutes and it was pretty good. Neville retained as he should. I think Neville should keep that title for at least till SummerSlam unless Austin Aries can find some momentum because he feel like he just got rushed into this feud and it wasn't time. Then the first surprise of the night for me I was in the Andre Memorial Battle Royal. Mojo Rally. Wasn't expecting that. When they inserted Killian Dane, aka Big Damo, to any of you who actually watch WCPW like I have on occasions, I thought they were like they're gonna do what they did with Baron Corbin last year and bring a guy from NXT to win it and debut the next night on Raw or the day after that on SmackDown Live, and that wasn't the case. They went with Mojo Rawley with help from Rob Gronkowski, which when they showed him, I was like, oh, it's just him. But when Mojo got knocked over by him, I was like, yeah, he's gonna get involved. It was kind of obvious. But yeah, I can see why after his playing career is over, he could become a WWE superstar. But that's not the point. Mojo, I hope they do something with this because Baron Corbin benefited from the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal last year, and yeah. Then we have Dean Ambrose versus Baron Corbin for the Intercontinental Championship, which was the third pre-show match, which I think 2 hours of pre-show is just way too long, even if it is WrestleMania. And in a very surprising move, Ambrose retained, and not the best match that Baron Corbin or he has had over the last year. I figured Baron Corbin was going to win. I mean, full circle, he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal last year and he comes into this and wins the match and goes on to be an Intercontinental Champion for a while. So this was a very puzzling move for me. Did not see this coming. Thought it was going to be easy. But and moving on to the main show, which starts off with AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon, which I did not think this was going to be a good match. AJ Styles carried the match the whole entire way, worked his butt off, proved once again why he is the best in the world at wrestling right now. He is the best. He is what I would say the Ric Flair of this time, of this generation. That is my opinion and my opinion only. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think about that. But I believe he could wrestle. He could wrestle me and make me look like at least a two-star athlete, a two-star wrestler. He made this match look good. There were a couple questionable spots like this, like the toss that Shane McMahon tried to execute, and then darn near dropped AJ Styles on his neck. I thought that was a very pleasantly move. The coast to coast attempt by AJ Styles getting blocked by Shane McMahon while the referee was down was interesting. Then Shane McMahon, this was late into the match too. Shane McMahon hits the coast to coast, showing that he still can get up and do those hops and everything. Of course, he also tried to put AJ Styles to a table on the outside and missed, which anyone who watched the last time he did that on SmackDown, he was going to miss because if you watch that back, he actually missed AJ Styles on the table and both just laid there for a minute. Then the combination of the match sees AJ Styles going for the phenomenal forearm and getting caught, and for whatever reason, Shane McMahon, and this is like the second pay-per-view in a row that someone has gone for a top rope move, missed, and it cost them the match. Braun Strowman in Fastlane, Shane McMahon here with a shooting stars press, missing completely. AJ hits the phenomenal forearm, and that's the match. Next up, we have what I think was a pretty good match. Other people might agree or disagree. Is Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho for the United States title. I wish I could be saying for the United States and Universal title, but we'll get to that later. Good match overall. They had some high and low spots, and the match ended the way I figured it should have, with Kevin Owens hitting the powerbomb onto the side of the ring apron, and pinning Jericho 1, 2, 3. I expect to see a rematch between these two at Payback, because it is Payback, the name of it. And Jericho will lose that one and move on to go with Fozzy for now. Then we have Bayley defending against Charlotte Flair, Nia Jax, and Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship. I thought it was pretty cool when you had Sasha, Charlotte, and Bayley teaming up on Nia Jax. Pretty much what you saw the night before with DIY and the Revival beating the heck out of the Authors of Pain. Only instant, like, doing something that those guys didn't do is that as soon as they got Nia down, all three women jump on top of her to get her pinned, which I thought was pretty cool. Made Nia look strong because it had to take all three women to beat her. So that was an A plus right there. Then Sasha Banks gets eliminated. Then it's down to Charlotte and Bayley. Bayley finally, and I say finally, wins the match without help. Like she had like a title match without help. All of her other title match wins have been via Sasha Banks' help. Yes, you can say Sasha helped tear down Charlotte a little bit, but I would say that this was a good one for Bayley, and it validated a little bit more of her title reign because it was a little bit more of a joke ish because she hadn't won a match clean for the title until now. Especially with the way she ended the match, she just pretty much suplexes or tosses Charlotte off the top rope and then hits the Macho Man elbow, as Michael Cole called it. And 1, 2, 3, which is the first time I think she's actually won a match without a roll up with a finisher that wasn't the Bayley Belly in a long time, which it was a good one. Then the surprise of the night. It is a triple threat match for the Raw Tag Team titles. Gallows and Anderson, the champions, versus Enzo and Callis versus Sheamus and Cesaro. All three are in the ring. I'm pretty sure everyone saw this coming, what was going on. I was kind of skeptical because of how things go on, but New Day come out, say this match has now become a fatal four-way. Kofi takes his hat off, making it look like it's going to be them going into the match. Then, bam, Hardy Boys music hits, and out come Matt and Jeff. They were the Hardy Boys, but you could still see elements of Broken Matt Hardy. There was you couldn't see anything from Brother Nero because Jeff didn't seem like he had much Brother Nero there. But in the match itself and a post-match interview, Matt Hardy did as much brokenness as he could without being completely broken Matt Hardy, which is great. And if you checked, I'll get that in a second. Back and forth match here and there. Yeah, you knew if anybody follows the Hardys in any other independent promotions, Matt and Jeff weren't going to do much here because they just competed the night before in a 24-hour span. These two crazy son of a guns wrestled 2 ladder matches. One against the Young Bucks, or the Bucks of Youth, whichever you want to call it, and this one. Then Jeff, who I guess looked beat up at the hotel that day, still, at the end of the match, when they have Sheamus and Cesaro laying on 2 ladders, gets a tall, rickety ladder, and still does a swanton off the top of the rope while Matt picks up the win. And your new tag team champions are Matt and Jeff Hardy. Tonight, when Raw goes on the air in about 7 hours, about the time I'm recording this, it's going to be really interesting to see how much they're Matt and Jeff and not Broken Matt and Brother Nero. So that will be a lot interesting, but we shall move on to the most obvious win and post-match worst kept secret in, I think, wrestling, in current wrestling history. That is John Cena and Nikki Bella versus the Mizanins, Mizanin and Maurice. Of course, short match that went only less than 10 minutes, and not much to speak of this match. It wasn't a really good match. It was mostly, of course, I figured it was going to be Miz and John Cena mostly because Maurice hasn't wrestled in so many years. She maybe got in there for about a minute or two, and at the end you have Nikki and John hitting the finishers for a double pin. Which one thing I hate every time, and no one ever brings this up, but I always hate this, is when tag teams do double pins and the referee sitting there counting with both hands. when it's not a tornado tag. If it's a tornado tag match, yes, that's fine. Would do that. But whoever was illegal, which I think was Nikki and Maurice, I can't remember. But it's like just count that one because if the other people kick out, then the match is then it doesn't matter because they're not legal. Anyway, that's just a small little minor detail I nitpick about all the time. It does bug me a little bit, but they win, and then after the match, which everybody from What Culture Pro Wrestling, like What Culture Wrestling, to like I think Dave Meltzer and others have been like talking about for like weeks, is that John Cena was going to propose at WrestleMania to Nikki, which I was skeptical about because whatever, but it just seems so scripted. This like the whole Miz and Maurice thing against them, like John Cena is, and then it just seems so scripted. Nikki and John just it just seems like so scripted. The whole entire thing was scripted. It seemed like I guess I heard this earlier. E like put out a press release about this happening like not too long after the match, like after the segment happened, and it was on Yahoo like immediately. So it's like this was predetermined. Everyone knew it was gonna happen. Nikki, if it was predetermined, Nikki puts on the best face of a surprise face I think I've ever seen in somebody who already knows what's gonna happen. But overall, it is what it is. I honestly don't care about their love. It's if they love each other, good. If it's all staged, then whatever. Not a big deal to me. That's all for those people who like Total Divas. Then comes one of my favorite matches: Seth Rollins versus Triple H, the unsanctioned match. Even though it wasn't an unsanctioned match, my definition of an unsanctioned match, first and foremost, is there's no referee. You beat the heck out of each other until one person is left, left motionless, and whatever. Of course, they did an unsanctioned match years ago with Triple H and Shawn Michaels. That was under the same rules, but this was a good one. I am really shocked that there was no interaction with Samoa Joe in this match. I was expecting to see Joe make a run in, hit like screw Seth Rollins to set up for payback against him and Seth Rollins, but that never happened. Best spot of the night. I know Jeff going off the ladder earlier was a pretty good spot, but best spot of the night came at the end of the match in a really good hard-hitting match. These guys put it all out there. Triple H, of course, showing his age, and because he's been there forever, but Stephanie's trying to get like Seth Rollins has the sledgehammer, and anytime someone holds a sledgehammer like this and doesn't have their hand cupped over the hammer, they're not going to use it. Something's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna grab it. Somebody's gonna stop them. They're not gonna use the sledgehammer. It's really obvious. Unless they take the sledgehammer and go like this and cup it, it's not going to be used. But Stephanie grabs it, and for the second year in a row, Stephanie cost Triple H the match. This time he goes to try and attack Seth Rollins, and Stephanie has him. He stops, turns around into a super kick, backs up, and knocks Stephanie into the table on outside. She took that like a champ, and it looked really awesome. Speaking of Stephanie, she looked like she belonged as a biker gang like the gang leader's girlfriend or wife. She just looked like she played that part so well. Stephanie, yes, we see her way too many times on Monday Night Raw every week. It does get kind of annoying, but this right here, she looked awesome. I think she played her part really well. Other than just taking the sledgehammer with and Seth, she really didn't get involved with the match. Like, you usually see a female ballet, like, pull the leg or do this to try and distract the wrestler. She only did that one time, and in the end, it cost Triple H for that second year in a row because she did the same thing last year where something happened, she got knocked out, and Triple H ended up losing the match because of it. Again, good match overall, I think, and I really was hoping that Samoa Joe was going to come out and just like demolish Seth Rollins again or do something, but I was sadly disappointed that didn't happen. That's like whatever. Then, of course, we had the musical guest. Who cares about those? Then came the musical guest started at 10:18 p.m. I remember this because I counted it. 10:18 p.m. You still had 4 matches. This pay-per-view went 5 hours long, plus the pre-show. Like, wow. 13 matches I think is a little too much. It goes to the pre-show ones or whatever. But next up came Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt for the WWE Championship, which, quite honestly, I was really disappointed in the fact of the way this ended. What was the point of having Bray Wyatt win the title at the Elimination Chamber? The last two WWE Championship title changes beside made no sense. The last few. When AJ Styles lost it to John Cena for John Cena to hold it for 2 weeks made absolutely no sense. What difference did it make who went into the Elimination Chamber for Bray Wyatt to win? Didn't make any sense why they changed it then. Then Bray Wyatt wins it, holds it for a little over a month, and then loses to Randy Orton, which made absolutely no sense. If they would have booked this better, and of course Bray Wyatt is 0-3 at WrestleMania, for those keeping track. He lost to John Cena at his first WrestleMania, Undertaker the next year. Did not wrestle last year. He was supposed to face Brock Lesnar, but was hurt and loses to Randy Orton. And what I don't understand why they did that, but that's what they did. Hopefully he'll get it back to the next pay-per-view and hold it till SummerSlam, which I think he should. And if you actually watch the post-match interview after Randy Orton's match, he's like, this was all of his master plan: infiltrate the Wyatts and take the WWE Championship. That is I'm gonna say it. That is the most asinine answer I think I've ever heard, because when he joined the Wyatts, Bray Wyatt was nowhere near the WWE Championship. It was on AJ Styles' waist, being feuded with Dean Ambrose. He was far away from the WWE Championship. Bray Wyatt, so if this was his master plan, then I know it's all, and I'm talking about kayfabe, in kayfabe, none of the stuff in the back. In the kayfabe sense, the character where Randy Orton must be some kind of mind reader, because he had to have known ahead of time, in kayfabe stance, that Bray Wyatt was going to win the championship, so he could take it from him later down the road. Other than that, it just was this was your master plan to join the Wyatts in October, and then take the title away from Bray Wyatt that he didn't even have in his possession when you joined him in April. That's that's no booking sense at all right there. Then comes the match that nobody really cared about, and I didn't really care, and I just wanted it to be over with, was Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal title, which actually went less than 5 minutes, but actually went over. And if someone can tell me in the comment section below, I don't remember the last person who broke out of the jackhammer. It could have been Triple H, I think. Could be wrong on that. But 4 spears, 10 suplexes, 1 jackhammer, 1 F5. That is all. This match starts off, Brock Lesnar hits Goldberg with 3 German suplexes. Goldberg gets up right away, hits him with the spear. Wow. This match you can break down play by play, and I'm going to try for a second. Brock Lesnar rolls out of the ring. Goldberg goes out and follows him, spears him through the barricade, kicks him a couple more times, hits him a couple more times, spears him 2 more times, hits him with the jackhammer. Brock kicks out. I don't think I could be wrong, but I don't remember the last time someone kicked out of the jackhammer, but it just, really? You didn't kick out of the jackhammer in some Survivor Series. What makes this one any different? 4 spears. Last time he got hit with 2 spears and got hit with a jackhammer. How does he get hit with 4 spears this time? 1 through the barricade, by the way, and kick out of the jackhammer. Made no sense. But it took 10 German suplexes in all, 7-ish in a row pretty much, and 1 F5 to take out Goldberg. So Brock Lesnar is the Universal Champion. Hopefully tonight we'll find out who his next opponent is going to be, and I'm hoping he loses at a Payback. Rumors are swirling already that next year it's supposed to be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 34. If they have Brock Lesnar hold that title for a year, I think that's going to be a bad idea. I hope not. I mean, if they want to, they can have him lose it at Payback, win it back at the Royal Rumble, and then take it to WrestleMania. That would be fine. That would be fine. Then we had the 6-Pack Challenge women's title match, which till a couple of days ago was actually supposed to be on the pre-show, but I guess fan uproar got it on the main show, which is good. A lot of back and forth action, and it was only a 5-minute match. It was just a big cluster. You know what? This pay-per-view was already way over time, so yeah. Take away that musical guest, then this would probably not be as long. But yeah, Naomi wins it in her hometown. I think she was supposed to be actually take it in, and I don't know if she was supposed to win this match, probably. But yeah, she gets her title back, second two-time women's champion of SmackDown, and that was all she wrote for the women's match. And then the final match, we see nice video package, which I hope the people who actually do these video packages like this one are paid handsomely well because they work their butt off. I wish we could get like when the pay-per-view ends, we get credits like in a movie and say who does all the visual arts, like the video packaging and stuff, because they don't get enough credit. That was a beautiful package. It hyped everyone for this match. And of course, Roman Reigns comes out and gets shrouded with booze. Like when this match started, you could hear him ish, but the further he got, the closest. I mean, like when he did his cocking of his gun and hit the ground thing, and it did that shooting thing. That was pretty cool. But like as soon as he started walking to the ring, it seemed like the booze just died, and it's like, ugh, Vince, why? Taker comes out from the ground, which was pretty cool. Still, I don't know what's up with like the big stadiums and happen to have for WrestleMania. I know it's WrestleMania. They did this at Royal Rumble too with like the huge long ramp. Why? Especially when you have like Goldberg who was in his 50s, you have Undertaker who's in his 50s, Triple H went down, which that was a pretty cool entrance. But it's like the ramp was too long. I think it would have made like it of course built suspense, but this was actually a really good match. Wow, what a few months make, because when we saw Undertaker at the Royal Rumble, man, I thought he was done. He didn't, we'll get to that in a second. I thought he was not going to make WrestleMania because he just looked so sad. Like, so sad. I didn't even want to, like, imagine Roman Reigns and him at the WrestleMania because at that time, because I was like, man, Roman's going to have to hold back like Brock Lesnar did at WrestleMania 30. It's going to make the match look so bad, and it's going to just be a cluster cluck of a match, and it's just going to be bad. Boy, was I wrong. It was a good match. Undertaker might have some bad knees, but I tell you what, those fists are vicious still. There were a couple times where it's like it looked like he legitimately just clocked Roman Reigns. And a couple spots left right here, like, what is with the Spanish announce table? Like they had like Roman Reigns, if I'm correct, was the one who did it. Pulled the regular commentators desk apart, and then Undertaker pulled the other one up, and Undertaker gets onto the middle one. Roman Reigns is there too, and he hits him with a spear through the table, the Spanish announce table, and it goes back to the ring. Says whose yard is it now, Smith, and all that stuff, and Undertaker comes back up. Spear after spear after spear. Taker just kept getting up until like the bounce big mega spear that he did it to him. 1, 2, 3, and Roman Reigns sends the Undertaker to a 23-2 overall record. And I really hope someone on YouTube will put up the reaction to how the crowd was for the end after that match, after Roman Reigns pins the Undertaker, because I guarantee it was definitely not how it sounded on the network, because it was like 1, 2, 3, match ends, and you hear a little bit of boos, and then it just like you don't hear anything. I guarantee you if you watch that match and later on in the week, you're gonna hear a different reaction. You're gonna actually probably hear like cheers or something because Roman Reigns won the match. That's just how much Vince McMahon wants us to love Roman Reigns. Then Roman Reigns, goes up, celebrates, and a bunch of fireworks come up, which I don't like that they did that. I don't like when a match ends WrestleMania that isn't a world title and gets that big, huge celebratory thing. I think when Undertaker, we'll get to that in a second, but I think when the show ended the way it did is when all the fireworks should have went off because it was a celebratory moment. They show a bunch of replays, and then they go back to the ring, and Undertaker has his jacket back on and his hat back on, looking around the ring, looking around the crowd. Looks like he's about ready to leave. comes back in, removes the gloves, puts them on the mat, takes the jacket, puts it on the mat, and removes his hat and puts it on the mat. Pretty much having a mini funeral for the Undertaker character. Goes over, sees his wife and kids for a minute, and then walks off. Raises his fist one last time, and he disappears into the floor. The gong sounds a couple more times, and fade to black. And that was WrestleMania 33. Was it the best WrestleMania of all time? Not even close. That's still WrestleMania X7 to a lot of fans. But it wasn't the worst. It was actually a pretty good WrestleMania. I mean, the shock value of the Hardys coming back, seeing the sadness of seeing Undertaker's last match. I think he should have went on a high by winning, the problem I have with this last match is Reigns leaving as supposed to be a babyface. It's a wasted opportunity, I think. Roman goes heel tonight, it will be worth it then. But if Roman is to just try and say, I beat The Undertaker, please cheer me, which is pretty much without saying what he's trying to do, it's a wasted opportunity, and I think they're just doing this wrong. They want to give Roman Reigns that coronation next year. They need to do things different. I'm going to bring up two examples before we finish this video, but John Cena and The Rock both were vanilla when they started. Both had nice heel turns, found their characters that people were going to cling to and love, became big baby faces, and became big stars. The Rock's loved by everybody. John Cena is loved by women and little kids and hated by most guys. If they want to get Roman Reigns over by next year, that is 12 months away, he does not have to be the baby face all of this year. Have him turn heel tonight, be heel probably till SummerSlam or Survivor Series, or heck, even the Rumble. He could, if you can get him to be hated, but then us love to hate him, and then hate to love him, or okay, that was wrong saying that. Love to hate him, and then just AJ Styles. Okay, this is if they can get him to where AJ Styles is, where AJ Styles is supposed to be the big heel. He beat the crap out of Shane McMahon a couple weeks ago, and is still cheered everywhere he goes. He is a babyface to us, but he's supposed to be heel in kayfabe. If they can get Roman Reigns to that type of by pushing him a different way, they could actually get him to work. They had this chance when he won the WWE Championship the night after Survivor Series in 2015, and then they blew it at the Royal Rumble. I'm just hoping for a heel turn tonight. I'm hoping for a heel turn, because if not, then they just wasted this match. Overall, I give WrestleMania 33 a B+, due to love for shock, sadness, great action, and a lot that could be improved, that could have been a lot better, but wasn't that bad. Of course, if you watched NXT TakeOver the night before, some of the matches blew this stuff away, and if you went to Ring of Honor, WCPW's State of Emergency, or any of the other ones, I bet you there were matches there that blew entire WrestleMania matches away. But from what I've seen, this was a pretty good WrestleMania, and I'm hoping tonight will build off of it, and we can be looking forward to Payback at the end of the month. That's going to be all. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to this video. Let me know your thoughts on WrestleMania 33 in the comment section below. And if I blabber too much, let me know. Let me have it. Just let me have it. And any comment is a good comment to me. I will see you guys hopefully for Payback. And if not, I might do one for Monday Night Raw tonight, tomorrow. Who knows? Until then, I am going to say have a good one, and I will see you later.